Hey folks, I'm best-selling author of The Power Zero, David McKnight. In today's video, you'll see part 2 of my interview with CFP Adam Olson, in which we discuss why mega CPA firm Ernst & Young is saying that if you want to maximize your income in retirement, you should put 30% of your retirement savings into, of all things, cash value life insurance.
Let me ask you this question. Say I'm a 35-year-old person saving 25% of my gross income. David, what do you think an appropriate amount is to look at to put into a life insurance retirement plan of that 25%?
I'm on Tom's side with this one. I'm also on, and it basically confirms a study out of Ernst & Young that talked about using life insurance as a volatility buffer, or what I call a volatility shield. And basically the concept, pretty simple concept. Most people, if you follow what's called the 4% rule, that's sort of the most common way to mitigate longevity risk, or this idea that you could run out of money before you run out of life. The 4% rule says, hey, if you only take 4% out of your $1 million portfolio, for example, $40,000 that first year, $40,000 adjusted for inflation the second year, so on and so forth for your entire retirement, you got a pretty high likelihood, pretty high success rate that you won't run out of money before you run out of life. But that's a pretty expensive way to go about mitigating longevity risk. And Dave Ramsey is real big on this. This is why Dave Ramsey says take out 8%, because 8% inspires people with hope. Because instead of having to save $2 million, you only have to save $1 million to be able to get that $80,000 per year lifestyle. But let's say you got $1 million, you're living by the 4% rule. It's a pretty expensive way to go about mitigating longevity risk. However, according to Ernst & Young and Tom and me and a number of other experts, including Wade Pfau, they talk about this volatility buffer concept. And basically the concept is this: if you can accumulate at least 3 years worth of living expenses in your cash value life insurance, and we can talk about why cash value life insurance is the only tool that allows you to do what I'm about to describe, but accumulate 3 years worth of living expenses in your cash value life insurance. And by the time you reach retirement, it's got to be in place by day one of retirement. Doesn't work if you sort of fly by the seat of your pants afterwards. Got to be in place by day one of retirement. And then every time your market goes down, every time your stock market portfolio goes down, or in the year following when the stock market portfolio goes down, you pay for your living expenses out of your cash value life insurance. And that gives your stock market portfolio a chance to recover before you take further distributions. Now, what does the math tell us about this approach? Well, it's pretty extraordinary. The math tells us, and I've got calculators that I built that bear this out, and I've done hundreds of thousands of Monte Carlo simulations that bear all this out. If you do what I just described, your sustainable withdrawal rate on your stock portfolio goes from 4% up to 8% with a 95% success rate. So how do you pull all of this off? Well, I wrote a book called The Volatility Shield, and I showed pretty clearly that the protagonist of the story, took 30% of his retirement savings and put it towards a cash value life insurance policy, kept investing everything else in the stock market. And by the time he hit retirement, he was able to take a full 8% sustainable withdrawal rate on his stock market portfolio. And that was able to bridge his retirement shortfall. And so, gosh, I'm going to have another book coming out after the one that's coming out in the fall, where I basically address just sort of Power Zero 101. How do you save for retirement? I'm telling all of the younger generation, anybody who's 50 or less, 50 years or younger, put 30% of your retirement savings towards cash value life insurance, and that'll double your sustainable withdrawal rate in retirement.
I love it. I love it. So that somebody saving 25%, you'd say put around 8% or so into a cash value accumulation product.
Right. That's exactly
I love it. And that's a great bond alternative for people in retirement income time. Less risk. There's no downside. Tax efficient. It's awesome.
Okay, folks, that was part 2 of my interview with CFP Adam Olson. In the next 10 years, I'm looking to put 100,000 Americans on the road to the 0% tax bracket. If you would like some help implementing a balanced, comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement that shields you from the impact of higher taxes down the road, head on over to davidmcknight.com and click on the Connect with an Advisor button. I'm happy to refer you to an advisor in the Power Zero network that has been trained, vetted, and qualified personally by me. If you're a financial professional,
and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head over to powerzero.com and opt into my free video series. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I'll respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.